Speaking of truthfulness or not, or otherwise, I asked you to check out a couple videos.
Yeah.
Previous guest that I had on, John McAfee.
Yeah.
And I would love to start with his. It's a very short segment, so I completely understand that it's easy to take out of context, whatever. You don't have a lot of general thing. But what was your impression of the segment?
So in that video, I didn't need any more because I'm a word girl and I put a lot of emphasis on people's words and how they use them. Usually when people lie, they're always thinking about body language and trying to control body language. People forget to focus on the words. Your words will always give your lie. Always, because people can't think of controlling them, number one, and it's almost impossible, number two. And we can control on what we want to say, but the indicators of deception leak right out. So here's a great example in this video.
Did you kill Greg Faull? I barely knew the man, and why would I kill him? He was a neighbor that lived 200 yards down the beach.
He was asked by the interviewer, did you kill Greg, and I forgot his last name, Faull? And instead of saying, so that's a yes or no question, right? Mm-hmm. Did you kill someone? Yes or no question. A truthful person just gives you the answer. Liars typically want to convince you, right? Truth tellers convey, liars convince. A truth teller will usually answer a yes or no question with a yes or a no and be done with it. But a liar says, I need more than that. They're not going to buy my yes or no, so I'll have to convince them and oversell. Or I'm not going to commit to a yes or no at all. In fact, I'm going to do a smoke screen or I'll add some fluff in. So his response was this. Did you kill Greg? He says, I barely knew the man. And why would I kill him? He was a neighbor that lived 200 yards down the beach. There were 5 indicators of deception in that one sentence. Number one, I teach this. It's like my second most common verbal indicator of deception. Refusal to answer yes and no. Right. You see it in Anthony Weiner. You've seen it in Bill Clinton. They just won't say, yes, I sent the tweet, or no, I didn't. You see in Hillary Clinton, no, I didn't wipe the service clean. She cannot say at one time that she didn't wipe the service clean. Anthony Weiner never could say, I didn't send the tweet. It's so simple, right? Just say no. But for some reason, we can't because it doesn't make us feel good. So he avoids that. Number 2, he calls them the man. Now, when you get into pronouns, a man indicates, I have no idea who this guy is. It's unfamiliar. But the man indicates, I know this man, right? And of course, we know that he does. But in this case, it's distancing language. Because what he could have said and should have said was, I barely knew Greg. But he didn't. He said, the man, right? Like when Bill Clinton said, I didn't have sex with that woman. Right? We know you know her name, Bill. This guy, John, we know you know his name. Why aren't you saying it?
Greg Faull, by the way.
That's it, Greg Faull, yes. And it's when we don't say that name, we want nothing to do with it. We want to distance ourselves from the lie, from this negative thing. So that's hit number 2. He says the man. Hit number 3, and then he asks our question, right? It's a stalling technique. Well, why would I kill him? Right? Well, that's what I just asked you. So you repeated the question back to me. So it's a stalling technique. Number 4, he adds fluff, right? Well, he was a neighbor that lived blah, blah, blah. I didn't ask you that, John. And we all know that he was your neighbor, which is why we're having this interview. So there's no reason for you to add that fluff in right now and just keep talking about nothing instead of answering the question, right? So it's a diversion tactic. And I will train law enforcement about the fluff. I call it fluff. Right. Unnecessary information. And then finally, he talks about a neighbor. He was a neighbor that lived 200 downs. Again, a neighbor, not my neighbor, right? When we have a lack of I and my, which are possessive pronouns, it means we're, again, distancing ourselves from the thing or the event that we don't like. So 5 indicators of deception. I don't